It's as common as the tire fires burning here in the streets of Port-au-Prince. Haiti is one of the kidnapping capitals of the world. The entire country has fallen victim in some way. Commerce and the economy are suffering. Children fear walking to school, even to church. It's a parent's worst nightmare. Everywhere you go, people are worried they could be next. The human toll sinks in talking with the victims. This 15-year-old schoolgirl was abducted in early September and released 7 days later after an unimaginable ordeal.
About 3 men were holding my hands and feet. They raped me.
Did they threaten you while you were there or make you afraid to try to escape?
Yes. They just closed my eyes and they took me somewhere. And I entered inside of the house. They tore off my clothes. They blindfolded my eyes and just left enough for me to see.
She was kidnapped in Croix de Bouquet, the same neighborhood outside Port-au-Prince where the American hostages were taken. Her mother says they initially demanded $50,000 ransom, an unheard of sum for a family living in the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. Her mother says the family banded together and sold everything they owned to get her back.
They told me if I didn't come to get her, they would kill her. I didn't have the money. I called my family from the countryside to help out. I negotiated with them for 20,000 Haitian dollars, but they rejected the offer. I then called my family. They sold what they had, and we settled on 30,000 Haitian dollars, and they told me they would release her.
Though the current ongoing case involving 16 Americans and 1 Canadian has generated intense international interest, Haitians are much more likely to be the victims of kidnappings in this country, and their families much less likely to be able to come up with the cash initially demanded. And it's women and children who are increasingly being targeted. More than 100 abducted so far this year, according to UNICEF, which has been providing victims counseling and relocation for this girl and her mom. They've been working with a local NGO that caters to women in distress. Before she came here, the girl couldn't even speak about her harrowing days as a captive to one of Haiti's ruthless gangs.
Because we have received so many cases of kidnappings, the space has been reserved for 25 women. Now we have exceeded that number. That's why we have land. We will build a bigger center to welcome more women, more victims.
Now, UNICEF is warning about yet another danger to women and children resulting directly from the kidnapping trends and general lawlessness in Haiti. A fuel crisis motivated in part by the danger in the streets, jeopardizing patients in hospitals and healthcare delivery with no end in sight. Joe John, CNN, Port-au-Prince, Haiti.